out in LA, a lot of brave people standing up to ICE. Some instances, protests have turned violent, meeting the violence that was sort of presented to them at the beginning of this thing. It started in Paramount, a part of LA, and involved ICE rolling up with a bunch of paramilitary and attempting to round up people who were looking for work at a Home Depot. Numbers, I think, were around like 100 people they arrested. Mind you, each one of these people, I mean, literally, probably $500,000. We don't really know per person who was arrested in this instance.
These are people looking for work. They're at Home Depot because they're looking for work, and because our immigration system is so broken, they have to look for work under the table, and they can't go through the proper channels because they're going to get picked up by ICE. But then if they need to make a living, it seems like they're going to get picked up by ICE anyway.
Anyone like them who gets exploited by capitalists or rich people in this country for their labor should immediately be given citizenship.
And let's be clear, ICE obviously came in with flashbang grenades, with non-lethal pellet guns, essentially, more or less anticipating something like this. And so protesters came out, and really, I mean, just community members came out to attempt to defend their fellow community members. And then over the course of the past 3 days, I'm sure you've seen some of the footage. Here is this clip number
4?
This is an image or a video, I should say, that shows you the size of the crowd at the LA protest. Now, just keep in mind, however, LA is a massive, sprawling city. And all this could be going on, and you could be living in any part of 80% of LA and have absolutely no idea. Maybe you'd see some helicopters, but the helicopters are flying over LA all the time anyways. So this is not a situation where like the city is in complete turmoil, and not even big swaths of it. However, a lot of protesters came out, and then LA sent its police out.
This is from Jonathan Green on Twitter.
And I guess that was the initial scene, just to give people a sense of scope before things really started to go haywire. It kind of went off the rails on Saturday. When did Trump send in the National Guard?
That really happened, I think, Sunday.
Sunday, right.
And to be clear, he federalized the National Guard against the wishes of Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. The last time this happened without the consent of a governor was in the 60s over integration.
It was 1965. LBJ ended up doing this to protect the marchers from Selma.
And now there have been, just to be clear, there have been the Insurrection Act has not been these National Guard have been federalized not under the auspices of the Insurrection Act, but rather another statute which allows their operations to be or authorized only within the limits of protecting federal workers or buildings. So they can't even do what ICE does. They can only protect those ICE if they are under siege. They can only protect federal buildings. That is their statutory limits as to what they can do in this instance. Nevertheless, there's a lot of talk from the administration about insurrection, et cetera, et cetera.
That seems to be their break glass in case of non-emergency thing, where they want to dance around using the Insurrection Act. But I think they're afraid of the legal challenges that would create.
Without a doubt. And remember, posse comitatus law from the late 1800s, I think it is.
It was Reconstruction
War,
era,
yeah.
right?
Basically says the federal government, I should say the military, cannot function and do anything domestically except for protecting federal workers or federal buildings.
Which means keep out of our business in the South.
Exactly. But sometimes those things come around for good reason. Trump says he's considering ways to serve a third term as president. Every time we call out Trump's authoritarianism, the right calls it media hysteria. But here's your reminder. Trump is openly trying to defy the Constitution and run for a third term. But if you don't know the bias behind your news, you might actually believe Trump's just teasing us. Go to ground.news/majority to see how framing influences more than your perception. Media bias is powerful enough to shape policy and, yes, even Trump's ability to undermine the Constitution. That's why we've partnered with Ground News for years now. Their app and website breaks down how the most critical issues we're facing are being spun. By exposing each reporting source's hidden agendas, I can see the world as it is, not as their biases want me to. Even better, if I'm ever reading about an issue on another site, their browser extension flags the source's political bias and instantly links me to other reports so I can verify the information. They're not some new tool I needed to learn. Ground News is a better version of the doom scrolling we're already doing. And after reading your comments, it's clear you'd benefit from them too. I got my viewers 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan that I've been using. That's just $5 a month for clarity and context when you go to ground.news/majority or scan my QR code. Democracy thrives on knowing the full story, not just the version you're fed. So sign up for Ground News today. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.